Welcome back to the Esports Juice Box, where we break down this week's esports news into digestible sizes for your easy consumption. In this episode, we will recap Week 2 of the League of Legends World Championship and bring you all the latest on CSGO. To close out the playing stage, Team BDS battled their way to the Swiss stage over PSG Talon in a stunning 3-1 reverse sweep. And to our disappointment, Team Wales fumbled the bag against GAM Esports despite their breakout performances, surrendering their tickets to the Swiss stage. For the Swiss stage taking place from October 19th to 23rd and October 26th to 29th at KBS Arena in Seoul, will qualify 8 out of 16 teams to the knockout stage. The two playing stage winners, BDS and GAM Esports, will compete with 14 other teams on the qualification. The games will be decided in best of ones and become best of threes if a team is on the verge of getting knocked out or moving to the next round. In day 1 of the Swiss stage, T1 secured a win over Team Liquid in a late game comeback. This was surprising to many fans around the world as they all expected the game to be a T1 beatdown. The performance was worrying for T1 fans as the team showed extreme inconsistency in their positioning when it came to early game teamfights. On Team Liquid's side, despite the loss, former world's champion Piosik reigned supreme over T1's owner in the jungle as he did last year in the world's final. My man was playing his brains out. Check out this insane listen play.
Piosik deep in enemy territory.
Going for it there as the kick does come through. Of course, Sonic Wave is going to connect as well. Core JJ looks for the opportunity, but the hostile takeover is there. Carrier always takes care of his friends. It's Piosik. He even goes golden, going to be able to avoid the arrow with that. The rest of TL gets into position.
And right now, TL is looking to peel. They're hoping to get the teleport and then peel. They do not want to flip this.
Carrier is just going to get caught out of position. Core JJ is there, and that is going to be the pickoff to start this one. Even the Rift Skull is going to stay with the kick on the faker from Piosik. It does not stop from this man today. And Ona down to 50%. Of course, Summit's got the Q3, and it's a double for APA, and that's going to be a Baron for TL.
In the second game of the day, C9 breezed through Mad, claiming the first win for LCS over the LEC in this year's Worlds. The Cassante pick from C9 was questionable. The C9's mid laner, Eminis, was down more than 10k damage against Masniski by the end of the match. Despite this minor hindrance, C9 still managed to secure the dub thanks to their top and bottom lane dominance. For the playing stage winners, things didn't go so well. GAM Esports was demolished by Gen G, the favorites to win Worlds from the LCK, in a 22-minute game that ended with a 10k gold difference. The players to look out for from Gen G's side is definitely their ADC Payas, who is the youngest player ever to win an LCK title at just the age of 17. In the 2023 summer split, Playas claimed the most kills in LCK tournament history, with 234 kills beating the previous record by 15. As for BDS, the team was matched against JDG, who was arguably the best team in this year's Worlds. In this game, BDS had a short-lived gold advantage over JDG in the early game under Adam's pocket pick, Garen. Check out the mechanics. Adam, what was that?
There.
Yeah, Kanavi just immediately going to get ulted, silenced as well. It's going to be difficult as the ult comes down. Cataclysm is there, but Adam, he's not scared of a ring of rocks. 369 now using the Bellows Breath to try and deny the CC, but it's not going to deny the knockup.
This year, JDG is on the verge of achieving the great feat of the Golden Road, where a team is to win regional splits, MSI, and the Worlds all in the same year. JDG is on track to become the first team ever to complete this achievement, as they have breezed through all their competitions in all levels, winning all single match games in the LPL playoffs and securing themselves the MSI trophy. In the fourth game of the day, G2 defeated DK in a surprise beatdown that ended with a 12k gold lead. G2 is definitely the best looking team from Europe this year, but no one expected them to look this good. The players to look out for are definitely their jungler Yike and the bot lane duo of Hansama and Mickey X. For day 2 of the Swiss stage, NRG, the #1 seed from North America, decimated Team Liquid in a sub 32-minute sweep that ended with a 12k gold difference. NRG's mid laner Palafox killed it against Team Liquid's APA with a 7-0-11 perfect KD against APA's 0-9 Orianna. In the first of the two rivalry matchups, T1 continues to struggle in the early game as Shinji defeats them in an early game victory. In the game, T1's jungler Owner continues to struggle with map rotation and objective control as the game ended with Gen.G's jungler Peanut securing a Cloud Soul in the sub 30-minute win. In the second rivalry matchup, to no one's surprise, BLG loses to JDG again, making it their ninth loss against JDG in a single year. BLG has definitely developed a mental block against JDG as things started off on the wrong foot before the game even started. In the drafting phase, Ben from BLG picked Aatrox, a champion which he has a seldom pick rate this year. In the bottom lane, BLG's Blitzcrank pick against Kalista and Renata was also questionable as the duel is extremely mobile, which makes it hard for Blitzcrank to find any meaningful engages. The bad picks by BLG led to JDG's total map control since the 7th minute. The game ended with JDG claiming a Dragon Soul and the Baron power play in a sub 25-minute victory. In day 3 of the Swiss stage, JDG secured a 2-1 victory against LNG in a best-of-3 series, becoming the first team to advance to the knockout stage. Gen.G also secured their early ticket to the knockout stage in a 2-0 sweep against G2, thanks to G2's questionable Lissandra Ezreal lane against Zaya and Rakan in Game 1, and leaving the dynamic duel open again in Game 2. The best game from the Swiss stage this morning is definitely the NRG vs Mad matchup. The game was played in a riveting fashion with rampant team fights for 40 minutes straight. There were plenty misplays with the Talia ult on both sides, but in the end, NRG secured the dub with a 2-man backdoor while Mad was spending all their attention on the Elder Dragon. Roll the clip.
He's not going for Elder.
Someone has to defend that.
No, Mad's gonna flip it. They're gonna dare him back.
Someone has to go. Chasey, he's going as now.
Oh, man.
We are just going to flip the objective, aren't we? And it is the German who takes it. And now the TPs are coming in. They just want to end the game. Energy, they don't want to even deal with the Elder, and they will not have to, as they will take down the Nexus and move on to 2-1.
And here are the final scores from today's games.
Moving on to Counter-Strike, the first tournament of Counter-Strike 2 took place at IEM Sydney in Sydney, Australia, where we saw FaZe Clan beat Complexity 2-1 in a close series. This was a great series, specifically map 3 on Ancient, where Halzuk got an ace and Complexity executed a great comeback to force overtime. I think that this tournament proved that Counter-Strike 2 can live up to the competitive product that CSGO provided, despite most games occurring between 1 and 6 a.m. Eastern Time, because of the time difference. These games were entertaining, and it was really cool to see how the professionals are using the new mechanics to their advantage. Specifically, the pros utilized frag grenades to clear the smokes. We saw this a lot on Nuke because of the outside smoke wall to Secret. This tournament gave me hope and makes me excited for the upcoming Blast Premier Fall Final. But for some teams, this tournament brought up a lot more concerns than reassurances. I wanted to talk specifically about Vitality and Cloud9. Starting with the current #1 ranked team in the world, Team Vitality, they lost in overtime against Snafany's Bet Boom in the best-of-1 opening round, setting up a best-of-3 against the eventual champions, FaZe. I think this result is partially bad luck. Having to match up against FaZe in the losers bracket is absolutely brutal. But also, Vitality choked after winning map 1 against FaZe and dropped both of their next 2 maps. Even though I'm a huge Flamesy fan, it cannot be argued that he struggled on 3 of the 4 maps Vitality played this tournament, having an HLTV rating of 1 throughout the tournament, which means he played at an average level. For a player who is known as a dynamic entry fragging rifler, these are concerning numbers, but it isn't all his fault. Zaru didn't quite perform up to Zyru standards as one of, if not the best offer in the world, and this is the first tournament for new head coach Xtaz, so an adjustment period is expected. Next, the Cloud9 experiment is looking shaky at best. While they were able to secure a spot at the Blast Premier Fall Final at the Fall Showdown, it comes after early exits from ESL Pro League Season 18, IEM Cologne, and IEM Dallas. If you want to find the last good result at a major tournament, it is a second-place finish at the ESL Pro League Season 17 back in April, before Electronic and Perfecto joined the roster. With the amount of money Cloud9 spent to bring Electronic and Perfecto from Na'Vi, this is extremely worrisome. Shiro in particular struggled heavily at IEM Sydney, going 75 and 82 in 6 maps, against not particularly strong teams, with the exception of Complexity, who ended up placing second in this tournament. This is also the first time Shiro averaged below a 1 rating in a tournament since December 2019, when he played for Gambit Youngsters, the Gambit Academy team. Needless to say, this is an extremely rare occurrence for one of the top oppers in the world. The team didn't help either, since they looked rather uninspired, and a change in IGL may be necessary. I also wanted to quickly point out Na'Vi. Even though they finished below expectations, this is due to the absence of their star opper, Simple, due to alleged paperwork issues with his EU citizenship. However, Simple has also been extremely critical of CS2, and the true reason for his absence from the tournament has not been released. I hope the issue really is bureaucratic in nature, since it would be a disservice to the Counter-Strike community to lose the greatest player of all time to a loss of interest in the game. But enough of the criticism. Who looked great? Mouse and Complexity looked great at this tournament. Mouse's young core is one of the most exciting teams to watch in all of professional Counter-Strike, as they aren't afraid to take risks and play aggressively in a meta that has traditionally been built around calculated risk. Shuhei has propelled himself into the conversation of one of the top IGLs in the game right now. Torji is slowly proving he deserves to be considered as a top-tier opper. Frozen is still Frozen, and Yimfat has already proven himself to be one of the best young prospects in all of professional Counter-Strike. Next up is Complexity. With the addition of North American legend Elige, they have instantly become a contender in the top tier of Counter-Strike. While I'm not convinced they can stay at this level, I would love to see them succeed, and they definitely have shown that they can hang in there with some of the best super teams in the scene. And so I'm super excited to see Elige come back and perform at the top level of Counter-Strike once again. And that's it for this week on the Esports Juice Box. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. See, that was pretty good.